If you're still running a cold calling operation in 2026, you're burning money and you don't even realize it. I've spent the last year building AI-powered appointment setting systems that are crushing traditional cold calling teams. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why your SDRs and appointment setters are about to become obsolete, what's actually working to generate qualified appointments at scale, and how you can make this shift before your competitors do. Now, what I'm about to share is going to upset some people. There are sales managers out there who've built their entire career around managing cold calling teams. There are SDRs who think they're safe because AI can't replace human connection. And there are agencies still hiring armies of appointment setters thinking that it's a scalable model. They're all wrong, and I'm gonna show you the numbers to prove it. What's going on, guys? My name is Nick Cornelius. I've been building AI automation systems for the past 4 years, and today we're gonna talk about 3 critical things. First, I'm gonna break down these 6 reasons why traditional cold calling is dying and why the companies that are still relying on human SDRs are hemorrhaging money every single month. This isn't theory, this isn't math, this is market reality. And this is what nobody in the sales training space wants you to know. Second, I'm going to show you the exact framework for building an AI appointment setting system that generates hundreds of qualified appointments at a fraction of the cost. What I call the automated appointment engine. This is how you scale outbound without hiring, without managing, and without the turnover nightmare that kills most sales organizations. Third, I'm gonna give you 3 paths to implement this in your business, whether you wanna build it yourself, use our platform, or have us build and manage it for you. You'll walk away with a clear action plan for the next 30 days. Now, these concepts are straightforward. They're not rocket science. They just require you to accept that maybe what you've been doing in the past for outbound for the last decade is obsolete. The hard part isn't understanding what I'm about to show you. The hard part is having the courage to blow up your current sales process and rebuild it the right way. A couple of years ago, my mentor taught me that with business, there are only 2 problems. You either have a sales problem or you have a production problem. You either have plenty of resources but need more sales to stay profitable, or you have plenty of sales but can't keep up with demand. If you follow what I teach you in this video, you will never have a sales problem again. Your problem will be keeping up with the demand that this system that you create generates. Now, most systems are stuck in 2015 when it comes to outbound. They hire SDRs, they pay them 50, maybe 70K a year, they train them for weeks, and then they watch 60% of them quit within their first 90 days. Every company has this problem. I've had this happen to me in my first 2 companies. And the ones who stay, they're making 60 to 80 calls a day if you're lucky. They're cherry picking the best leads, they're logging fake calls in the CRM, they're forgetting to follow up, and they're costing you thousands of dollars in salary, opportunity costs, and missed deals. Here's what's actually happening in the market. Cold calling as a business model has been completely upended by AI. It happened faster than most people even realized, and it happened because AI solves every single problem that makes human cold calling inefficient, expensive, and unreliable. Your problem isn't that you need better cold callers. Your problem is that you're still using cold callers at all. Here's what most companies are doing. They're in the hiring and managing SDRs who waste 80% of their day and quit right when they get good business. And that business is dead. Let me break down the 6 fatal flaws of traditional cold calling. The first flaw is that cold calling is low leverage. Let's start with the fundamental problem. Cold calling to generate leads is the lowest leverage activity in your entire business. Think about it. You're taking up your time, or maybe your team's time, and using it to dial for dollars. You're doing the grunt work of prospecting when you should be focused on closing deals. If you're a business owner or a sales leader, your time is probably worth around $500 to $1,000 per hour, minimum. Maybe even more, but you're spending it making 50 dials to book 1 appointment that might never even show up. That's insane. Your highest leverage activity is closing, period. That's where you create value and that's where you make money. That's where your expertise actually matters. But instead, you're burning hours on the phone with gatekeepers, wrong numbers, and people who hang up in 3 seconds. And here's the worst part. You've convinced yourself that this is grinding and hustling, when really it's just inefficiency disguised as work ethic. Stop it. The smartest operators in 2026 don't touch a phone. They automate it. They build systems that do the low leverage work so that they can focus on high leverage work. Here's the second problem. You're paying way too much for way too little. Let's do the math here for a second. If you have a traditional cold caller setup, you hire an SDR at a 50K base salary plus commission. You add payroll, taxes, benefits, training time, management overhead, and you're all in for 70 to 80K a year. Now that SDR makes on average 60 calls a day. Let's be generous and say they work 220 days a year. That's 13,200 calls annually. If they're good, they convert 2 to 3% of those calls into qualified appointments. That's 264 to 396 appointments per year. So your cost per appointment is around $180 to $303. And that's if they're really freaking good. Most SDRs don't hit those numbers. Most SDRs wash out. And what we are looking for here is a customer acquisition cost to lifetime value ratio of 1 to 3. That means whatever your average customer lifetime value is, divide that number by 3, and you can't pay any more than that number to acquire a new customer. You pay $1 more than this, and you no longer have product market fit. Now let me show you the math. We built an AI appointment setter system for one of our clients that has an average annual contract value of $18,000. The AI generates qualified appointments at $68 per appointment. Let me say that again, $68 per qualified appointment. That's a 62 to 77% reduction in cost compared to human SDRs. And that doesn't include hiring costs, training costs, management, overhead, payroll taxes, turnover, sick days, benefits. The AI just runs 24/7, making calls, booking appointments, updating the CRM. See the difference? One model is a cost center that requires constant feeding. The other is a revenue engine that scales infinitely. Which one do you want to build? Here's the third problem. AI is fundamentally more efficient than humans at cold calling. A good SDR, again, makes 60 to 80 calls per day. An elite SDR might push 100 if they're really cranking. AI makes 20 calls per minute. Do the math. That's 1,200 calls per hour. That's 9,600 calls in an 8-hour day. One AI agent does the work of 20 human reps. And it's not just about volume, it's about consistency. Every single call is executed perfectly. The same tone, the same script, same energy level, no bad days, no Monday morning hangovers, no Friday afternoon, I'm checked out calls. The AI doesn't get tired. It doesn't get discouraged after 15 rejections in a row. It doesn't take lunch breaks or scroll Instagram between dials. It just executes. I had a solar company come to me 3 months ago, and they had a team of 8 SDRs making outbound calls. They were spending $560,000 a year on that team. Of course, that includes salary, commissions, management, overhead. We replaced their entire team with 3 AI agents. The total cost, about $42,000 a year. So they went from 8 humans making 480 calls a day to 3 AI agents making 28,800 calls per day. As a result, their appointment volume went up by 340%. Their cost went down by 92%. That's not an exaggeration. These are real numbers. And this is very normal for the companies that make the switch from human cold calling to AI-powered appointment setting. The technology is a force multiplier, and if you're not using it, you're competing with one hand tied behind your back. Here's the fourth problem. SDRs waste massive amounts of time on manual data entry. Think about what happens on a typical cold call. The SDR dials, someone picks up, or maybe they don't. The SDR has a conversation, or maybe they don't. Then they hang up and manually log that call in the CRM. They type out the notes, they update the status, they set up a follow-up task, they add tags, and all of this takes about 2 to 5 minutes per call. Multiply that across 60 to 80 calls per day, and your SDR is spending 2 to 6 hours every single day just doing data entry. That's half their day not selling, not talking to prospects, just typing into a CRM. Now here's how AI handles it. The AI makes the call, instantly logs who picked up, instantly transcribes the conversation, instantly updates the CRM with lead status, qualification level, next action, sentiment analysis, everything. Zero manual work. The data is cleaner, the data is more consistent, and it happens in real time. I can pull up a dashboard right now and see every single call my AI agents made today. I can filter by outcome, I can listen to the recordings, I can see which prospects are ready to book and which need more nurturing. Your SDR team, they're still typing notes into Salesforce at the end of the day, trying to remember what happened on call number 37. It's not even close. Here's the fifth problem. Personalization at scale is impossible with humans. Everyone knows personalized outreach works way better than generic scripts. Everyone knows you should research your prospect before calling, but how many SDRs actually do it? Almost none. Why? Because it's time consuming. If an SDR spends 5 minutes researching each prospect before calling, they can only make 12 to 15 calls per hour instead of 20 to 25. So, most SDRs skip the research. They use generic scripts, they sound like every other cold caller, and they get hung up on. The few SDRs that do the research, they're not very efficient. They're spending their valuable time on LinkedIn, scrolling company websites, reading news articles when they should be dialing. Now here's how AI handles it. The AI gets a lead, it scrapes the company website, it pulls in LinkedIn data, checks for recent news, analyzes the company size, industry, and pain points, generates a personalized opening line, and all of this happens in 2 to 3 seconds. Then the AI makes the call with a completely customized message based on its research. Here's an example. Hi Sarah, I saw that ABC company just opened a new location in Dallas. Congrats on the expansion. I'm calling because businesses in your industry that are scaling rapidly usually run into a specific pain point. Do you have 2 minutes to chat about how we're helping companies like yours solve this? Now, this is not a generic script. I just used some placeholders for this, but this is a researched, personalized, relevant opening. And it happens instantly at scale for every single prospect. You can't do that with human SDRs. The math just doesn't work. But with AI, it's the default. Here's the final problem. Human SDRs have zero follow-up discipline. Let me paint you a picture. An SDR calls a prospect. The prospect says, not right now, maybe in a few months. What does the SDR do? They mark it as not interested and then they move on. Why? Because they're measured on appointments booked this week. They're incentivized to chase hot leads, not nurture warm ones. That's marketing's job. So the lead that said maybe in a few months, it gets forgotten, it slips through the cracks, and then 6 months later, they end up buying from a competitor. Now here's how AI would handle it. If a prospect said not right now, the AI would log it. It'd set up a follow-up sequence. It'd send a value-add email 3 days later. It'll call them again in 2 weeks. It'll send a case study. It'll call again in 30 days. It'll send a text. It'll call again in 60 days. This process will infinitely continue until one of the following things happens. The prospect books an appointment, the prospect explicitly opts out, the prospect goes to voicemail, or they get called 10 times in a row. At that point, they just move to a lower priority nurture sequence. The point is, the AI never gives up. The AI never forgets. The AI never gets bored. We have clients who booked appointments from leads that were first contacted 6 months ago. Leads that a human SDR would have abandoned after one not interested. And that's the power of automated follow-up. Let me give you a real example. I was talking to a restoration company owner last month, and his SDR team was making 500 dials a week. They were booking 8 to 12 appointments. But here's what they weren't tracking. How many not right now leads were they getting? How many call me in Q2 leads were they getting? We pulled their CRM data. They had 1,847 leads marked not interested or call back later from the past 12 months. So we built an AI follow-up system. We loaded in all 1,847 leads, set up a multi-channel nurture sequence, and in 90 days, our AI booked 127 appointments from those dead leads. 127 appointments they had written off as lost opportunities. At their average deal size of $8,500, that's $1,079,500 in the pipeline that was sitting dormant in their CRM. Your SDRs are literally leaving millions of dollars on the table because they don't have the discipline or the bandwidth to follow up properly. While at the same time, the AI can do this automatically. All right, so everything I just told you is the problem. Now here's the solution. You need to build what I call an automated appointment engine. This is a system that combines 3 components. Number 1 is AI voice technology, and this is the conversational interface that makes calls, qualifies prospects, handles objections, and books appointments. Number 2 is you need to integrate your CRM. The CRM is the brain that tracks every single interaction, that updates lead status in real time, and triggers the right follow-up at the right time. And finally, you need to use multi-channel automation. This is the infrastructure that combines calls, texts, and emails into coordinated sequences that nurture leads until they convert. Think about this. AI voice is the sales rep making calls. The CRM is the manager tracking performance and assigning next actions. And these tailored automations are the systems tying everything together and ensuring that nothing falls through the cracks. Most companies try to bolt AI onto their existing process. That doesn't work. You need to rebuild from the ground up with AI at the center. Let me give you a real example of how this works. A law firm specializing in personal injury came to us. They were spending $180,000 on 2 full-time appointment setters calling accident victims from purchased lead lists. Their conversion rate was 4.2%. With those setters, they were booking 42 appointments per month. We built them an automated appointment engine. Step 1, a lead comes in from their lead provider. Step 2, AI instantly calls the lead within 30 seconds. Step 3, AI disqualifies the lead using a decision tree. Step 4, if qualified, AI books them directly on the attorney's calendar. Step 5, if not qualified but they're warm, AI adds them to a 90-day nurture sequence. And step 6, the CRM updates in real time with call outcome, next satisfaction, and lead score. So after 60 days of working with them, the appointment volume increased from 42 a month to 93 a month. That's around a 121% increase. The cost per appointment dropped from $357 to $73, an 80% reduction. The conversion rate increased from 4.2% to 8.9%, and the total cost dropped from $180,000 a year to $31,000 a year. So they're booking more appointments, they're paying less, and they eliminated all the management headaches that come with human SDRs. That's the power of an automated appointment engine. Real quick, if you're a business owner or sales leader and you're still relying on human cold callers to generate your pipeline, you're leaving money on the table every single day. I want to invite you to book a call with my team at SimpliScale. We build custom AI appointment setting systems for companies that want to scale outbound without the hiring nightmare, without the turnover, and without the massive overhead. We don't just hand you an AI and say good luck. We audit your current processes, identify your highest leverage opportunities, and build you a complete system that integrates with your CRM and generates qualified appointments on autopilot. If you're spending more than $50,000 a year on SDRs and appointment setters, we can probably save you around 60 to 80% while increasing your appointment volume. If you're interested at all, link is in the description. Book a call. We'll show you exactly what's possible for your business. And if you watch this video and you're getting value, smash that like button and subscribe. I drop content like this every single week, breaking down what's working in AI automation and business growth. All right, now back to the video. Let me address the elephant in the room. A lot of sales leaders are resistant to AI appointment setters, and I get it. I understand the objections. Our prospects want to talk to a real person. AI can't handle complex conversations. What if it says something wrong and damages our brand? Yes, these are all valid concerns, but here's the truth. Your prospects don't care if they're talking to a human or an AI or if someone's speaking Spanish. They care if you can solve their problem. We've run hundreds of thousands of AI appointment setting calls. You know how many prospects have complained about talking to an AI? Less than 0.5%. Most people can't even tell. The technology has gotten that good. And the ones who do notice, they usually say something like, wow, that's impressive. I couldn't tell it was AI until you told me. Here's another objection I hear. We have a complex sales process. AI can't handle that. Wrong. AI can handle complexity just fine. It just requires the proper setup. You need to define your qualification criteria properly, build decision trees for different prospect scenarios, create escalation paths for edge cases, and train the AI on your specific industry and use cases. Most companies that fail with AI appointment setters fail because they rushed the setup. They deployed on day one without testing. They didn't build proper guardrails. Don't do that. Take the time to build it out right, and the AI will outperform your best human SDRs. I promise you. Let me show you some math that most sales leaders don't want to confront. With a human SDR team of about 5 people, we're looking at a total annual cost of $350,000 to $400,000 per year. That workforce is going to make around 66,000 calls per year, and they'll probably book around 1,320 to 1,980 appointments per year if you have a killer team. The cost per appointment is going to sit around $177 to $303. It's going to require 10 to 15 hours a week in management time. We're looking at a 50 to 60% turnover rate annually, and there's going to be a ramp time around 60 to 90 days for new hires. Now we look at AI, total cost will be around 30 to 50K depending on call volume. It's going to make 2,112,000 calls per year. It's going to book anywhere between 4,200 to 6,300 appointments per year with a 2 to 3% conversion rate, and the cost per appointment is going to sit around $47 to $118. Management time required per week, probably just monitoring some logs, about 2 to 3 hours a week with a 0% turnover rate. Ramp time is about 14 days, and you're getting 3 to 4x more appointments while paying 85 to 90% less. You're eliminating turnover, and you're freeing up management time to focus on closing. Guys, this isn't a marginal improvement. This is a complete transformation of your sales economics. Here's what I'm seeing in the market right now. Your business probably falls into one of these 3 categories. Number 1 is the dinosaurs, people who are still running traditional cold calling teams. Companies that are still running traditional cold calling teams, they're still hiring SDRs, they're still dealing with turnover, still burning cash. These companies are going to get killed by competitors who adopt AI. Number 2 are the experimenters. They've tried AI appointment setters. Maybe they worked, maybe they didn't. They're not sure. They're hesitant to go all in. These companies are stuck in no man's land. They're not getting the full benefits of AI, but they're also not committing to making it work. Finally, we have type 3, the winners. They've committed to AI-powered appointment setting 100%. They've rebuilt their entire outbound process around it, and they're booking 2 to 5 times more appointments than their competitors. And they're scaling without even hiring. These companies are going to dominate their markets in the next 24 months. Which type do you think you're going to be in 2026? Only you can answer that. I can't answer that for you. Now, here's what I believe with everything in me in 2026. If you're still relying on human cold callers, you're fighting a losing battle. The companies that win in the next 24 months are the ones that embrace AI appointment setting and rebuild their outbound infrastructure around it. Not better sales training, not better cold calling scripts, not better motivation, better systems. AI appointment setters are the single highest ROI investment you can make in your sales process right now. But here's the but. You've got to actually implement it. Don't just watch the video and think that's interesting. Don't just save it to your watch later playlist. Don't just forward it to your sales manager with a vague, we should look into this. You've got to take action. So here's your 3 paths moving forward. Number 1, you can learn to build it yourself. If you're technical, if you want to understand how these systems work, if you want to build AI appointment engines by yourself for your business or for your clients, I recommend you join the Automation Academy, because inside I'm going to teach you how to build AI appointment setters from scratch, how to integrate them with your CRM and automation platforms, how to set up multi-channel nurture sequences, how to monitor, optimize, and scale these systems, and how to avoid the mistakes that cost most implementations to fail. This isn't a course you watch once and forget. It's a complete training program with live support, community, and ongoing updates. Link is in the description. It's free for a limited time. 50 more people, it will not be free. Path 2 is you can build it yourself, but with our platform. If you want to build your own AI appointment setter, but you don't want to start from scratch, use KingCaller AI. KingCaller is the first platform of its kind that combines voice AI, CRM, and workflow automation all in one place. You get pre-built AI voice agents you can customize, you get a CRM out of the box, you get a drag and drop workflow builder, and you get everything you need to launch in days, not months. Go to kingcaller.ai. We'll give you 10 minutes for free to test it out and see how it works. Otherwise, it's $35 a month. I've literally spent more on coffee in a single month, and I've spent more on tech platforms that I don't even use over the past 3 years, which I gotta go cancel. Anyways, this is going to lead to a massive ROI if you learn to build it yourself. Highly recommend you go check it out. Then there's pathway number 3. Have us build and maintain it for you. If you're a business owner doing $1 million or more a year and you don't want to become a tech expert and you just want this implemented and running in your business, book a call with my team at SimpleScale. Again, we'll audit your current outbound process, identify where you're losing money, design a custom AI appointment engine for your business, build it, integrate it, and manage it for you, and guarantee the results. We don't install tools, we install revenue engines. Link is also in the description if you're interested. The reality is, guys, your competitors are making the shift right now. They're automating their outbound. They're scaling without hiring. They're booking appointments while you're sleeping. And every day you wait is a day that they pull further ahead. Come back to this video in 90 days and tell me your appointment volume didn't go up by 2 to 3x if you actually implemented what I just shared. I hope this video blessed you. If it did, again, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. Until next time, stay blessed with success.